Hello, everyone. I want to welcome you here to Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show, a show dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. Here we are. It's July 7th, the seventh day of the series that I'm running. My 31 favorite rock albums that launched the careers of these bands for me personally. So this is album number 25. Neil Young's Harvest, yes, really launched a major career for me here. So for those of you who don't know what we're doing, basically I'm picking the 31 albums that launched, my 31 favorite albums that launched the careers of these bands. I had about 70 originally. I narrowed it down to 31, and then I ranked them according to how I like them. And I stayed away from bands that I had been listening to for a fairly lengthy time and listening to them fairly regularly, but had never actually owned anything from them. And so that when I did get the album, it really didn't launch the album because I was mostly familiar with their stuff. This is albums that I had purchased of bands that I had been told about, or I had heard about, or I was curious about, or whatever. And the album kind of launched these people for me. So the album that we've done today, Neil Young's Harvest, absolutely killer. One of the big impactful albums for me when I first got it. I got it back in, I want to say 1985 was when I got this album. By that time, it had already been around for a very long time. Probably 1970, if I'm correct. I think it was produced in 1970. Just give me one sec. It's funny how they don't do that on the albums anymore. It used to be automatic. You used to see it right at the bottom of every album when it was released. Now, guys, you're hard pressed to find it because they're trying to sell it like a new thing again. I guess that's what they're attempting to do. Yet it just doesn't say. Oh, here it is, 1971. So I was a year off. So it was released in 71. I got it in 1985. It was on cassette. That was when I started my Neil Young thing. I had the cassette. I now have this. I've had this for a fairly lengthy time too. This is an absolutely classic album. One of my favorites, probably my top 25 favorite albums of all time. Definitely the album that launched Neil Young for me. I have a ton of Neil Young stuff now. But I still think this is maybe the best album he's ever done. There's a lot of stuff he's done that's really good, but I think this still may be the best one for me. Other than your well-known tracks like Harvest, Heart of Gold, Old Man, and The Needle and the Damage Done, which are fairly well-known tracks. There's a lot of them on this album. The deep cuts are almost as good. Out on the Weekend, love that tune. A Man Needs a Maid. Yeah, that one is probably my favorite song on the album, or one of the two, with Needle and the Damage Done in there. There's a world where Alabama's on this. Like, it just is proliferated. Fantastic album. The only album that I think could challenge this might be Chrome Notebook, or whatever it's called. Chrome Dreams, the original one, which they never released until recently. If they had released it with all those tracks at that time, it would have been a really heavy track to not put as your favorite. So anyways, this is absolutely killer album. When I got it, I listened to it all the time. I was right into it. I had kind of, by that time, gotten away from rock, so I didn't really think of this as rock, although it was rock, definitely rock, but it had a different kind of a folky, kind of country feel to it as well. And I was getting into that bluesy stuff and everything, so this kind of pulled me in that direction a bit. But really good album. I was amazed that it took me so long to get the second one. So I got this one in '85. The next album I got from him was Freedom, and I didn't get that till the early '90s, or like '93 or '94. Just a long period of time, like 8 or 9 years, and yet I loved his stuff even then. And it took even longer, so then it was another few years before another one came, and now I've got quite a bit. In the last year or so, I've collected quite a bit of his stuff and I just like a lot of it. And this album just is absolutely killer, launching the career of Neil Young for me. So my number 25 of 31 favorite albums that launched this band for me. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you have, hit the like and subscribe. You can list your albums that did this for you as well. Which Neil Young album kind of launched them for you, type of thing, you know. If you want to do that in the comment section, you can do that. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. And we'll be back tomorrow with, I guess it's day 8 and pick number 24. So we're getting down there. Got some great albums so far. Hoping to have some very good and great albums coming up as well. So take care. We will see you then. Goodbye.